Alrighty guys, welcome back to another one. In today's video, I'm going to go over a shell we recently put together in the Claybuster CB1138 video here at the dresser, bench, whatever you want to call it, and at the range, the 10 pellet double-aught. That one was by far the best patterning one of the bunch. We had 9 shells out and that one was the best. The speed we got was approaching 1400 FPS, and we ended up with a pattern roughly the size of a soccer ball. One of the questions we got a few times was, what if you drop the charge of this right here down to 26? Would that help tighten the pattern up? Probably, but again, the speed we got was near 1400 FPS and the pattern was so good, we really, both of us agreed on this. We don't see the need in dropping it down. Josh mentioned that is probably a 50 or 60 yard assembly there. Yeah, we just didn't see don't see the need to drop it down any to help tighten it up. If you guys missed that video, I highly suggest watching it. The gun we used was my H&R partner pump, and it just had a plain old factory full flush mount non-ported choke, just as plain can get. It was a straight 700 diameter, and we ended up with a pattern, again, roughly the size of a soccer ball at 42 yards. With basic components pretty much everybody has access to: a tapered hull, a Claybuster CB1138 wad, which is a clone of a Winchester WAA-12R, a wad that has been around for decades. Like I was saying, it's just about as basic can get. Another question we got was, what if I don't have any tapered hulls or I don't like using them? Well, we'll do one in straight wall too, because again, people wanted to see that. So the first thing we need is a Winchester AA original, the compression formed ones, the CF. If you don't have those, a AA HS will work just fine, and if you don't have either, well, any tapered hull will work just fine. They all have basically identical internal dimensions. Any tapered hull will work, whether it be these, the HS, Federal High Overall, Remington STS, Nitro 27s, Gun Clubs, American Clay and Field, Remington Game Loads. All of those hulls are the same aside from the Winchesters. But even a Super Target or Universal, if you have those will work too. But anyway, let's get to doing this. I have, once again, a Shadat CX2000 in here, just like the original video. All of this is going to be exactly the same. We are using 27 of that, my favorite powder, Claybuster CB1138. And if you don't have the Claybuster CB1138, the Winchester WAA-12R is the original version of it. It will work too. Compress that down just a little bit. Now, excuse me, we need a Mylar wrap. I about forgot. Dig one out of here. Right there. This is the My Thin Mylar. Just roll it up. Set it down in there. Nope, guys, I am all over the place. I grabbed the wrong one. We need the My Slim Mylar. Let me dig one of those out of here. I found one. The little package they come in is basically construction paper with a rubber band around it. And I have a box cutter literally laying loose in the butter tub in there, or margarine tub, and I guess it cut it somehow. But now we are ready for 10 pellets of double-aught 33 cal true double-aught here. Stack those by twos until you have 10. We have 10 pellets in here, and for a total lead payload weight that is 1.21 ounces with buffer, which we did use in the original video, it's going to be exactly 1.25 ounces, or very, very close to it. I know I need a little bit more. And let me grab my vibrating massager from Amazon. Settle that down. I actually need a little bit more. There we go. We have it. Now I need a Tyvek overshot card. Gary Caskey sent me these. You guys saw me use these in the original video. And all I do is stuff that in there, and that's going to help the buffer from leaking out. It'll basically stop it completely. But this has a 8-point crank, not a 6-point. Rabasator. Looking good. And final crimp it. And guys, that's all that one is. A very, very simple assembly that goes together very, very well. You end up with a good crimp every time because of these original compression formed hulls, the AA's. Can't really ask for better than that. But there it is. Again, it's approaching 1400 FPS at 42 yards through a 28-inch barrel H&R partner pump with a regular full choke. What do we do if we want to put that in a straight wall? Well, the answer to that is really simple. We're going to use a brand new primed clear Fiocchi. This is a straight wall shell. This one has the low brass. And if you don't know, brass height does not matter. It is completely cosmetic these days. In the days of paper hulls, it did matter because back then black powder was a big thing, and the higher brass head on it helped prevent burn through little pinholes in the plastic. You could use them longer. Now, this is not brass, if you don't know. This is steel, brass plated steel. But anyway, we're using 28.5 here of, again, this stuff right here. If you notice anything weird with my phrasing here about all this stuff, it's on purpose, just so you know. So next we need to flare out the bottom of that wad right here, because this is a straight wall, not a tapered hull. It's all obviously straight all the way down. And this wad is a lot narrower. It's actually 690 at the gas seal right here at the bottom of the wad versus the roughly 3/4 of an inch. The internal diameter of that hull is roughly 3/4 of an inch. So we need to pinch out the bottom of the wad to match, or even actually open it up more than 3/4 of an inch. That way it's a good seal in there. You could also use a 1-inch square piece of paper towel or napkin to also seal the powder. But you see, that's a good fit now. Drop it in there. Now we just need a Mylar wrap and 10 pellets of double-aught. And we have our Mylar. Just roll it up, set it down inside your wad. The Mylar is there to help with flyers, and it also prevents the pellets that are not inside of the wad from rubbing against the bore, the barrel of your shotgun, which can cause lead fouling and kind of smear the pellets that contact the bore. You don't want that. You want them to stay as round as absolutely possible. That is what the buffer is for, to help them stay round. They don't deform as bad, which helps with patterns. So basically, the Mylar and buffer is there to add to the pattern or help it, however you want to look at it. But now, we need 10 more pellets of double-aught. Grab those out of here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. There's 10 pellets. This one will need an actual overshot card as opposed to the Tyvek, because, as you can see, stack height is a little bit low. The tapered hulls have less capacity, so you don't need an overshot card with those. We'll add our buffer here. And the reason we are using a bit more of this stuff right here is because the straight wall shells, again, have a lot greater capacity. You need more powder to get to the same velocity, if that makes sense. If you didn't know, tapered hulls step down to 14 gauge. A little bit more buffer. 14 gauge bore diameter is 0.693. And those tapered hulls and the wad step down to about 693. For an overshot card, I'm going to use a piece of this Maxi Nitro card, just because I have a bunch of them. And, well, these don't come in sections, but I'm pretty sure I can manage to tear off a good chunk of it. There we go. Set that on top. And we are ready to crimp this. Stack height is now correct. We'll do a 6-point because I actually prefer 6-point crimps. Well, looking nice. Rabasator. Also looking nice. And lastly, just close it up. As usual, I'll do multiple pulls down on the press to get a more even, uniform crimp, and as you guys can see, that pretty much looks like a factory shell. You can't really ask for better unless you want to taper, and if you do, use a GOT BN2. I'm not going to bother on this one right here because it's just going to be range food. We're not going to bother actually patterning this one because we have before on video. If you guys want to see that, go through the archives. This is a really good one too. Show you a little bit more of the hull. As you can see, it's not bulged out anywhere. It is not crushed anywhere. But again, no taper. Otherwise, this is a really good looking shell, about what you'd get from factory if any factory put these out. Nice. So there is a 10 pellet double lot assembly in a tapered hull and the straight wall. Some of you guys wanted to see it in straight wall, so there you go. Again, yes, you can back down the powder charge in the tapered hull if you want to. Maybe you don't want near 1400 FPS velocity. Maybe you want more of a home defense style assembly. So if you want to do that, by all means, back the powder charge down or use a faster burning powder. We put these together with hunting in mind, not home defense or personal protection, anything like that. No, these are more of a hunting assembly. And stuff like this, guys, it all comes back to the master of buckshot, and that would be Wade Rush. Bubba Roundtree Outdoors. If you guys are not familiar with him, look up Bubba Roundtree Outdoors here on YouTube. That's not round tree, it's a round tree. No D. So, just look him up. Wade has been doing this a lot longer than me and Josh have. And like I said, Wade is pretty much the master of this. But anyway, guys, I suppose that's going to end this one here. Please like and subscribe. We always appreciate that. If you have any questions or comments, we'll leave them down in the comment section below, and we'll get back to you. And if you want to, go check out our Patreon. It's as low as $1 a month, and you guys get early access to content. A link to that, as well as a link to our Instagram, Rumble, and merch store will be in the description below. But other than that, you guys take it easy. We'll see you in the next one.